Yo, so what going people? It's KMD back in here again for Rant Radio. And you know something? I truly believe, I truly believe this is the end. Part 3. I saw this I saw this tabloid on my Facebook, right? It was a local story actually as well, because it happened for the Love Box Festival in Victoria Park in Hackney, which is also my hometown as well. So it's like I saw this little article on my Facebook, and it was to do with a father and his daughter. The father's name is Andre Spicer. Andre Spicer. I'm not sure of his daughter's name, but his daughter's like 5 or 6 years old. And Andre Spicer and his daughter had the brilliant idea of selling lemonade. £1 large cup. For a large cup, £1. For a small cup, 50p. Homemade lemonade. Selling to festival goers for this Love Box Festival. All right. I remember I did the same thing. The year before the 2012 Olympics, they had a big festival on Hackney Marshes. They had people like Rihanna performing, so many people performing. And I remember I pretty much had the bright idea to sell cupcakes, biscuits, tea and drinks right outside my house with my niece and nephew, basically using my niece and nephew as like the image basically to kind of draw customers in. And we made a killing. Me, my nephew and my niece, we made a killing. So Andre Spicer and his daughter had the very same idea to do the same thing. Let's sell some refreshments to festival goers, because we are pretty sure that they are going to have to spend £4.50 for a can of Red Bull. I'm pretty sure they would have to. Because I've heard that shit also before. People who have gone to festivals and they're like, right, you can't bring in your own drinks, you can't bring in your own food. You gotta spend £4.50 on a can of Red Bull that will cost you £1 in an ordinary shop. That's that shit. So anyway, Andre Spicer and his daughter were selling refreshments, lemonades, and the council workers had this bright idea to stop them from what they were doing and slap them with a £150 fine. Because, what was the word that they used again? They were selling without a license or some shit. I don't even fucking know, because like I say, I don't believe in any of these fucking rules and laws and regulations that they have put out here for us, because it's all a fucking contradiction. Because here's the fucking joke now. After those council workers slapped Andre Spicer and his daughter with a £150 fine and said they have to stop selling this because they don't have a license to trade, the actual Hackney Council, I think they came out. They came out with their own sort of a spokesman, and they said some shit about how they're not going to charge the gentleman this £150 fine because they would expect their workers to have some sort of common sense not to charge them. But I'm like, if you set rules and regulations that you expect your workers to abide by, and then when your workers abide by them, you're telling them they should use common sense, what was the point in the law then? What was the point in that trading law then, if you expect your workers to have some sort of common sense to not slap a £150 fine on Andre Spicer and his daughter for selling refreshments? Like, it doesn't make sense. This is how I know it is the end. Like, that shit sounds fucked up to me. To many people now, some people are going to come out and say, well, it's the law. You're not allowed to do that shit. Is it? What the fuck are boot sales for then? What the fuck are boot sales for then? Isn't boot sales the same thing? Like a car boot sale? Isn't that the same thing? Trading without a license? Or maybe I just get shit twisted. Maybe I am just too much of a fucking alien to be fucking with you humans like this. Maybe. I don't know. Another reason why how I know it's the fucking end. I'm not sure if any of you have noticed this as well, yeah, but there has been a high influx in attacks for like moped attacks, basically, like people driving mopeds and acid attacks, or just driving mopeds and stabbing and robbing people just for the fucking fun of it, or driving around on a moped and then terrorizing estates and residents as well, just for the fun of it. There is a lot of shit happening right now. A lot of that is happening right now, and a lot of it isn't actually portrayed out on the news. You've got to actually go on the internet and find this shit. I find most of it through like my Facebook, through the people that I follow on my Facebook, because I follow the right people on my Facebook to get the right news. So when I find these tabloids, I go onto Google and I search and I search and I search and I search for about half an hour to 40 minutes to try and find many different tabloids on it. And then there you go. So we have a high influx of moped attacks right now. This shit is fucking crazy. Last week as well, when I finished work in the morning, I was going back home. I came across like 4 mopeds with like 2 guys riding each of these 4 mopeds, drove all in a line right past me. And I'm just like, it's 6:30 in the fucking morning. Where are you 4 moped riders going with 2 on each bike? Where the fuck are you lot going? I wake up later on that day to find out that a couple moped attacks happened in a few estates where people were just walking around with big machetes and terrorizing a few of the residents and trying to run around stabbing a few people. Shit is fucked up. Ambulance members now, ambulance workers now have been given like a shit to deal with for acid attacks. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like now all ambulance vans are going to have the right equipment and medication to deal with people who have been caught up in an acid attack, because right now people are able to just buy corrosive liquids like it's nothing. Like this shit is fucked up to me. I'm sorry, it really fucking is. This is how I know it's the end. Another reason why how I know it's the end, and I said I wasn't going to come in here and review the video that I did last night, but once again people wanted to get out of fucking pocket and talk some shit in my comments. People wanted to call me a racist again for having love for my black people. Apparently, if I have love for my black people, that makes me a racist. So these people wanted to come out and try and call me a racist or a race baiter. They tried to say that Black Lives Matter is just as bad as the KKK. Wow. Like, I truly believe people who say some shit like that truly don't know a fucking thing about the world other than what their television box shows them. Other than that, they don't know a fucking thing about the world. Pretty much like the guy who commented on one of my other videos a little while back telling me that 99% of the world isn't racist. Yeah. Someone actually came out and said that shit to me. So, do you people who think that Black Lives Matter is like the KKK, let me quickly break down some shit for you. It won't take long because it isn't that long to explain, and it isn't that hard to explain, and it isn't that hard for you to understand. Unless you want to be a racist motherfucker, an ignorant son of a bitch that doesn't want to see this shit. I'll break some shit down for you. The KKK, what do you know about the KKK? One thing I know about the KKK is that they are a mass movement of white people who just murder, rape, burn and lynch black and brown people just because of the color of their skin. That's what I know about KKK. Another thing I know about the KKK is that they are still allowed to walk around today with police protection. They are allowed to protest this very day and age with police protection. Black Lives Matter was started because of the injustice that happens to black and brown people. The constant killing of the constant killing of black and brown people, men, women and children by the police. So when you come out and say things like all lives matter to black people, we know this already. We have compassion to know this already. We know all lives matter. What we are trying to portray to you and the world is that if all lives matter, you would clearly see that right now, with the injustice going on, black lives clearly don't matter. That is all we are saying. It is not that hard for you to fucking understand that. It really isn't. If you choose not to understand that, that's because you're a racist. That's all it is to it. You don't want to see this shit. But then people will come out and say some shit to me like, me speaking about this is what's dividing the country more. So not speaking about racism is going to stop racism. Okay. So I'm not going to speak on that shit no more. It's just bullshit. I'm not even going to argue with these people when they're asinine comments. I'm not going to fucking do it. I don't have the fucking time. I may have commented or replied to a few of the fucking comments from yesterday's video because some of them truly irked me. Like some of them truly irked me. Especially the guy that said because I love my black people, like because I love my black people first, that makes me a racist. Like, wow. And then they got out of pocket and started to speak on black crime. Like, these are white people telling me that I should be speaking on black crime. Like, there is such a thing as black crime. Like, me as a black person can't speak about racism, but you as a white person can tell me to talk about black crime like there is such a thing. I'm trying to explain to people right now, there is no such thing as black crime, because if there was, then what about white on white crime? If we're going to speak on black crime, I've seen a hell of a lot on white crime. I've seen a hell of a lot on Chinese crime. I've seen a hell of a lot on Turkish crime. Doesn't make sense though, right? Does it? It doesn't make sense. Turkish on Turkish crime, Chinese on Chinese crime. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. What you have to understand is, if you want to speak on quote unquote black on black crime, is there is a reason why many black people are killing black people. Like the guy spoke of Chicago, for instance. One thing I know about Chicago is that there is 70% no fucking jobs in Chicago, which is why people are out here robbing and stealing. It's the establishment that actually sets this shit up for the world to be the way it is. Remember, people aren't out here just robbing and killing for no fucking reason. There is a reason why this system is set up the way it is set up right now, and the reason why people are doing the crimes that they do. The reason why people sell drugs. The reason why people do the things that they fucking do to make money, because it's the way the system is set up. There is an agenda. Like, they have to keep the fucking shit. I'm not here to fucking explain this shit to people. If you can't see this, me explaining it to you isn't going to fucking open your mind to this either, because your mind is too boxed. It's too boxed in. You are too indoctrinated to even fucking see this. So even if I was to give you stats and numbers, which I don't fucking believe in, you wouldn't even believe in that shit too. So what is the point in me, a black man, trying to explain to you the injustice that happens to black and brown folk if you don't want to fucking see it? If you're telling us we should be quiet, we shouldn't speak about racism. That's my point. This is why I say it is truly the end. Because I could also remember at one stage, Blue Lives Mattered, but then now, after when a black police officer killed, what's her name, Justine Damond or something like that, that white lady, now all of a sudden, blue lives don't matter no more. Oh no, this police officer needs to suffer. What about George Zimmerman? He's still walking around scot-free after murdering Trayvon Martin and selling the gun off on auction. The very same gun that he used to kill Trayvon Martin, auctioned it off. He's still walking around scot-free. Many of these officers are walking around scot-free. Many of you lot don't even know the very same person who video recorded the murder of Eric Garner, he's in prison for recording it. Yeah, not the police officer for headlocking Eric Garner and killing him. No, the guy who recorded it is in prison. How about that? That's how I know this is the end. You can't even record police officers doing anything no more, because if you record them, you'll be the one getting arrested and sent to prison for that shit. That's how I know this is the end. But people don't see this shit. Like, people don't see this shit. They will only just come out and speak on black crime and how black people shouldn't speak on racism. Let me tell you something now. Again, like in my last video, suck a big fat floppy dick, cuz. Fuck off. You're a dickhead. Shut up. Don't comment. Like, don't comment. Real talk. If you don't know about the injustice of black and brown people, if you choose not to see this shit, don't fucking comment, bro. This is the end. That's all I'm saying, people. I am not staying in here for long. I just wanted to come in here and just break down part 3 of This Is The End. Because I'm always going to have more parts to this shit. Because I always see many things that's going on in the world. Like, another reason why I haven't ranted for so long. People want me to rant about Usher giving a chick herpes. I don't give a fuck about Usher giving a chick herpes. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about R. Kelly having how many sex cults of all of these young women, because when we found out R. Kelly was having sex and pissing on the young chick, we should have already fucked him over from then, and we shouldn't have even been speaking about R. Kelly. So for R. Kelly to come out now and for us to come out and still be talking about R. Kelly now, that's our fault. Not R. Kelly's, that's our fault, because we still focused on him. We still went to go and buy tickets to go and fucking see him, especially you women. You still went out to buy these tickets and go out and go and fucking watch his performances at his live shows. And then now you want to be up in arms about some shit. Why? Hugh Hefner's doing the same fucking shit. Been doing the same fucking shit. So I'm not gonna come out here and rant about no goddamn celebrities right now. No. I just take in what I see, and then I'll give you the this is the end, part 3. This is KMD, people. This is Rant Radio. And I'm out. Bless.